Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Chodash, Ma, Amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Harawan Banya Sharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. Salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Banya Sharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. Today I'll be coming out with a lesson. I don't really have much of a title for it, but without further ado, I'm gonna play a little small excerpt of this video, and I'm gonna get some scriptures.
So if you follow my Instagram, you know I brought this up yesterday, and I also posted a YouTube short on the main channel about Maya Angelou. She would join slave-owning George Washington on a quarter. So the poet and civil rights activist, was faced to join the slave-owning first president of the United States on a select number of quarters minted for distribution in 2022. The renowned author will not only be the first black person to grace the $quarter coin, but is the only person to do so outside of George Washington. Now, they say, according to Politico, the U.S. Mint has already started integrating the Angelou quarters into the American public. It said the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said, each time we redesign a currency, we have a chance to say something about our country. It said what we value and how we progress as a society. So I'm very proud of these coins. Celebrate the contributions of some of America's most remarkable women, including Maya Angelou. Now, I said the Treasury Department shared that this coin, authorized by Public Law 116330, is the debut currency in its American Women Quarters program, and is being made in the nation's mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. They said the department founded by Alexander Hamilton. They say we'll release an additional 15 honorees over the next 3 years, 5 per year, culminating in the rollout of 2025. They said it's the honor to present the nation's first circulating coins dedicated to celebrating American women and their contributions to American history. That's the Mint Deputy Director Ventris Gibson said in a press statement. Okay, so let me say something here. This is not something that Black Americans asked for. Not at all.
Okay, now you said this is something that supposed Black Americans, but anybody in the know that we're Israelites. He said that our people didn't ask for this, but our people, what he doesn't understand, our people have continually asked for the things of Esau, for the amenities, for the reparations that it's really not going to come because our people fail to realize that this is a captivity and a place of judgment and not a place of abundance and much substance. But real quick, this is Isaiah Salakia chapter 31, verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many. And in the horsemen, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh." Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So it says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help." Our people stay running to Esau for help. They stay running to Egypt for help. So it says, woe. Woe means destruction, judgment to those who run down to Egypt, i.e., Babylon, which is also spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. They run down to Esau's uh, 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 power structure for help. And it says, "And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many." And Jake, the only one that believe that America is still the greatest country on the earth, and that's just not true. We're living in the place of we're living in an unwalled village, and Jake quick to be like, "Oh well, boy, can't nobody beat America," when they fail to realize that America is behind the eight ball on this one. They're not in the forefront. They're not the spearhead anymore. They're not in the forefront. They're lagging. You know, and this is Jake. He trusts in this kind of stuff. But can't nobody beat America, boy. We boy nah. The truth of the matter is, for those who are in the know, those who know the truth, this place is done. That's why they doing things like putting Maya Angelou on the quarter to keep you distracted from what's really going on. But our people trust in this kind of stuff, and they think because of previous or past uh, events that back in the day America won. They think America just gonna win everything else. But no, according to the scriptures, this place is done for. But our people, they trust in this because they see the armies and the militaries and all this stuff. And they don't look to the Holy One of Israel. Neither do they seek the Lord Yahweh. They don't look to Yahweh Shai. Neither do they seek Yahweh. So let's continue.
Let's go back to it. Black Americans say, hey, we need this George Floyd bill. We need to end this qualified immunity. This is why a lot of black folks got out there to vote. And the Democrats play games with y'all once again. Oh, if you get us in there, we can really get this police reform done. Oh, yeah, qualified immunity and all the different things that they was talking about, right? Oh, they were talking about defunding police. And I've been saying a long time ago, defunding them is not going to fix anything. You must punish them and remove their ability to kill at will. This is what you must do, period. Okay? Now, with that being said, we asked for reparations. You asked for anti-lynching bill, okay? Um, people talk about, the voting rights thing they're talking about, which for me, I said voting rights is not the top priority to me.
Okay, boom. He's covering a lot of various topics that Jake loved to try and harp on, and they try to cover themselves with this. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me. Woe again, destruction, judgment to the rebellious children. Our people are very hard-headed, stiff-hearted, stiff-necked. So it says, woe to the rebellious children. And our people are very much rebellious. And rebellious and being rebellious is as witchcraft to the Heavenly Father. But it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me. See, our people love to take counsel, but they never ever take counsel, or they never ever seek the counsel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It says, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin upon sin. See, our people, they love to take on coverings, but they never cover themselves with the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. They never cover themselves with the spirit of truth, the spirit of righteousness. They never cover themselves with Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And on top of that, they add sin upon sin. I mean, they just keep transgression and transgression and transgression. Let's continue. Verse 2. It says that walk to go down to Egypt, go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust Slakia in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So our people, again, they love to walk to go down to Egypt for help. They have not asked at the mouth of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. They strengthen themselves in the strength of Esau, the strength of Pharaoh. And they trust in the shadow of Egypt. They trust in the power structure of America, Babylon. That's why they go out there and they vote, and they march, and they make a uproar, and they misspell signs and all kind of foolishness and this, that, and the other, and then it dies down. And our people trust in this. But because they trust in the strength of Pharaoh, in the shadow of Egypt, the strength of Pharaoh is going to be their shame. And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, this power structure, is going to be their confusion. That's why they cannot figure out why they keep staying in the same position and why things keep happening. They don't understand that this is a captivity, a place for judgment, for being what? Hard-headed. Let's continue.
I say economic security is important, like reparations, our physical safety, things like the George Floyd bill and getting rid of qualified immunity, having a hate crime law that goes back to physical safety, that would protect black people. People think twice about doing certain things to black people, to have a hate crime law. If that anti-lynching bill that goes back to the safety of black people, and many other things that black people really need, right? Voting rights to me is not the top priority at all. And even if they give you voting rights, they didn't give you anything. That's what people need to understand. There's nothing tangible.
See what he said, right? He said even if our people were given the voting rights, they still didn't give them anything. This is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have absolutely no knowledge. They don't have any knowledge. Our people are foolish, sottish. Our people are stupid. They're unlearned. They can't figure out what's going on. They don't get it. They have not known the Most High. They don't have any understanding when it comes down to doing what's right. You know. But when it comes down to doing evil, they are wise to do that. When it comes down to depending on Esau, they are wise to do that. But when it comes down to doing good, they have absolutely no knowledge of it. They cannot see through the fog, or they cannot see, we'll say, through the charade that Esau is putting up. So that's why they go and vote, and they go and march, and they big up Maya Angelou being on a quarter when you got a racist slave on the president on the back of the quarter, or however it goes, on the back of the front, whatever. But let's continue. He says, and they do these things to pacify our people, because Esau knows that Jeremiah verse 22, our people are foolish and sottish. The Esau knows this. That's why he can give them various things. Juneteenth, a George Floyd statue, what? Supposed Black History Month, and a lot of different other things that don't really fix the problem. It only pacify our people, long as they getting recognition. That's how they okay, you good, they know we here, but it ain't doing nothing. But let's continue, because our people are stupid, and Esau know that.
Well, they giving you by this, but you ask for something from this party that controls everything right now, and they say, okay, well, let me give you Juneteenth. Okay, this is what they say. Let me give you Juneteenth. Okay, cool. Then they pop up when you ask for something. Again, then they say, let's give you Hip Hop Appreciation Month. We didn't ask for Hip Hop Appreciation Month. Black folks didn't take a risk during the pandemic to go vote for you for Hip Hop Appreciation Month. They didn't take a risk.
And again, referring back to Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the rebellious children. Our people are rebellious and hard-headed. They walk down into Egypt for help. They trust in the power and in the strength of Pharaoh. They trust in the shadow of this place. They trust in the strength and the power of this place. So because they do trust in the power of this place, that's what makes the strength of Pharaoh and the shadow of Egypt, i.e. Esau's power and America's power, it makes our people, it's going to be their confusion, and it's going to be their downfall. Because why? Jeremiah 4:22, they're sottish children. And you can also back that up with Hosea 4:6.
To go for both for Juneteenth, and like I said in my post, Juneteenth has been a holiday in Texas ever since I've been born. Okay? A holiday is not going to give black people anything as a whole. It doesn't put money in our pockets. It doesn't protect us as a people or anything, right? Then black people.
Now, of course, this guy, he may or may not know if we Israelites or not, you know what I'm saying? But he does cover various topics. But let me bring this out real quick. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That's how we got here. The first Egypt, we walked into that. We walked in the captivity in the first Egypt. It says, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. How did we get here in Babylon, America? We got here on ships. We sailed over here. They took us from the west coast of Africa and brought us over here. That's how we got here. And one of those ships, I don't want to say the name, but I'm gonna say it this one time for edification and teaching purposes. One of those ships was called the Good Ship Jesus, that our people were brought over here on. But let's continue. Verse 68 of Deuteronomy 28. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof, Salakia, I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So the Lord once told us this, that we were going to go into Egypt again by ship. This was spoken before again, and we was going to be taken out of our land, and we were not going to see it again. And we have not seen Israel since that day. No, you got a bunch of gutter rats over there right now, claiming to be of Judah or Yahweh, but they're the only ones over there. But let's continue. This is, and there. So when we got here, the Lord said, when we got here, we will be sold unto our enemies, Esau and other nations, for bondmen, slaves, bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So we was going to be sold into slavery when we got here, and no man was going to buy us. Nat Turner didn't do it. He couldn't deliver. He couldn't liberate our people. Marcus Garvey couldn't liberate our people. Martin Luther King could not liberate our people. Malcolm X could not liberate our people. Because why it says no man shall buy you. We gonna be liberated by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Yahushai in particular. So this is the place where we were sold into slavery at. And no man is going to get us out. So no matter how many activists or whatever rise up, they're not going to be able to free Israel from this bondage. Let's continue. Let's go to my last point, and I'm going to let this video play for a couple of more minutes.
Was asked saying, hey, y'all ain't doing nothing for us. We watching y'all give a bag to the $5 Indians. Just recently, y'all gave them a whole bag recently. You giving the Afghans a bag. You gave, the Asian community, you gave them a hate crime law, and you gave them $50 million from Biden on an executive order, right? You're giving people that's not even legal things in this country. Even in New York, they're about to allow them to start voting in local elections, who is not even legal to vote, okay? All the different things that the Democrat Party is doing. And when black people say something, you come up with a quarter all of a sudden. Like that's going to pacify black people. But it's not just...
Well, he doesn't understand Jeremiah 4:22. This is very well much going to pacify a vast majority of our people. Now, for those who are in the know, who are in the truth, who believe on Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, who walking according to the spirit and not, and you know what I'm saying, and following the laws, such as commandments to the best of their abilities, no, this is not going to pacify the remnant of Israel. We could care less about this quarter. I know personally, I don't care if you put you can put Pee Wee Herman on the quarter. I don't care. But for 2/3 of our people, Maya Angelou being on the quarter is gonna make them think that they got some kind of we winning. You're not winning. You've been losing since you got here, according to Deuteronomy 28. It's like 28 and 68. You've been losing. Now people gonna keep losing until Yahushua come and redeem us. But for those that remnant, we are winning. While we are winning in Yahushua. We're winning the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. We're winning the crown. We're winning salvation. We're winning the wisdom of Yahweh. We're winning knowing what the will of the Lord is. We are winning, but for 2/3 of our people, they stay losing. They're habitual losers because they don't understand, nor do they care to understand. Let's continue.
Them. And then, like I say, I told you, I want to be fair with this. I can't just dump it all on the Democrats because there was a person that left a comment. And I made sure to pin that comment on my Instagram because anybody that say something on my page, it's subject to be pinned. It's subject for me to scrutinize, because it's not just that person that's my issue. That person's comment do represent a big mindset in the black community. Okay, so let me read this comment. And it says, I celebrate all black progression no matter the scale. One victory does not negate any other victory or struggle. Voting rights and quarters are two separate issues. You can celebrate one without erasing your mind of the other. That is, if you're smart, and say, I'm happy to have the first black woman on a quarter for millions of youth like mine to see for generations to come. And
See, right there. Right there. Jeremiah 4:22. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it back out again. Because all Esau had to do was put a Jake on the quarter, and Jake already, we winning. You know, but this is Jeremiah 4, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So Esau know that. So Esau knowing that he can pretty much do anything and it'll pacify 2/3 of our people. Let me bring out this last point and then I'm gonna end it. This is Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell, they say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So again, whose possessors? We are possessed by Esau at the moment, and he stays slaying Jake. He stays slaying our people, and is currently slaying our people. And guess what? He holds himself not guilty. Look at the off-duty officer that ran over the Jake dude and then shot him and then made up a lie. He held himself not guilty. Look at the Ahmaud Arbery. Those Edomites did what they did, and they held themselves not guilty. They slaying Jake left and right, and they think and Esau think because he has all this money and all this power and wealth and whatever, he think he want to be thankful to the Lord because he is rich. But then in his mind he think that the Lord ain't finna do nothing to him for what he has done to our people. So yeah, our people don't get it, man. And this right here, this putting Maya Angelou on a quarter, that's not a +5 people. That ain't nothing. That's keeping them sleep and keeping them docile and dumb. But until then, shalom.